Um, Actually, I'll tell you another story first. Like the first time I met my teacher and saw what pulse diagnosis could do as well.
Yeah.
I'll come back to your question in a minute, but I remember like I had just like my whole. I started studying like when I was 19. Met my teacher when I was about 22, I think, and just the whole of my life up to that point, I'd had severe insomnia. Um, like severe, like 2, 3 hours sleep a night. Like if I got more than that, that was a good night, and that was constant. So it was really bad, and I had had acupuncture from various practitioners, generally in the student clinic because that's all I could afford. I'd taken herbs, hadn't really done much, and at that point, my kind of expectation of Chinese medicine was it didn't really do much, but I was kind of training in it, so I was going to complete the training and so on. And then, like I said, I met my teacher, started listening to him in a lecture, and I'd already had these questions come up, and you know, was kind of very drawn to what he was teaching. And then at the end of the first lecture he was treating, he had talked a lot about pulse diagnosis. So people were naturally going up and saying, "Can you take my pulse?" Um, and I did this. So I went up and said it, and he took my pulse and he was just started taking it. He goes, "You're not sleeping, are you?" And I was like, "No." No, not at all. And then he just poked me in the stomach. It's like, you need to be needled there in like Ren 14, like basically on the stomach. And I thought back and I was like, yeah, all through my life, I remember I'd always like my stomach, my upper abdomen would actually stick out a lot and be quite bloated, and the rest would be um, relatively flat. Not so much the case now, but but then he wrote a formula cancel Shishintang Adigwaja, and I just started taking it. I didn't think anything. I didn't really expect anything from it. Hadn't really had much results with herbs up until then, but I just started taking this. And suddenly, about 3 weeks later, I suddenly realized I woke up one morning and I was like, I just woke up, which meant I slept. And I looked back and I realized for about the last week, I've been feeling sleepy in the evenings, going to bed, and just waking up the next morning like I'd been sleeping. And this is the first time, and no, severe night sweats and everything. And I was like, wow, that actually worked. And I looked back at all the forms I had taken, from the college that I got, and it was always like tonifying your chi and blood with loads of mind calming herbs and so on. And here somebody took my pulse and said, "You've got a stomach issue. I'm going to give you a formula to treat the stomach." And also identify the fact I hadn't been sleeping. But he didn't give me any mind calming herbs or any herbs to promote sleep. He just said, "This is what's on your pulse. Oh, there's a digestive thing. I'm giving you this." And it worked like nothing else had. And I was like, that's like, this is the Chinese medicine that was promised to me, working
Yeah.
out what's going on in your body. Yeah. So yeah, I used it a lot. And I still remember, as well as practicing, I'd take any opportunity to take as many pulses as possible when I was early on. So there's a point where I was like renting some clinic rooms in a place that was also a yoga studio. So then I would wait in the evenings. I'd go back in the evenings and sit between yoga classes and just wait with all the people that queue up and waiting for the yoga class, all the people coming out. I'd say, like, "Let me take your pulse." And I'd just do this as my practice. Just getting as many pulses as I could alongside actually treating my regular patients. And I remember one patient, I was feeling a pulse and I was like, I felt something which, indicates some reversal from the stomach. So I was like, "Do you get any acid reflux?" And she was like, "Nope, nope." But then it's like, "Sure. Like any pain, burning on the stomach, any burning coming up here? Nope. Any funny, like sour taste in your mouth? Nope, not at all." So like, okay then. So we kept on chatting. And then a little while later, she said, "Oh, I'm on omeprazole, an acid reflux drug." And I was like, "Oh, why are you on that if you don't get any acid reflux?" I said, "Oh, well, I had this chest pain and it took my doctor, you know, 4 or 5 years to work out that this was reflux, and then they put me on this. Um, and the chest pain's not there, and if I forget to take it, the chest pain comes back." And I was like, "Oh, no, that must have been, what it was on your pulse." And I said, "Maybe we can do something with herbs to resolve that, so you don't have to keep taking the omeprazole." And she just went, "No, my doctor told me things like that wouldn't work." And I was like, "Ah, I just took your pulse within 2 minutes, told you had acid reflux, and you said your doctor took 4 or 5 years to
Yeah.
diagnose your chest pain's acid reflux, and has given you something which, when you stop taking it, comes back. You know, maybe maybe that's a sign that you know
That
I
that's
can work out
interesting.
what's going on." But she was like, "No, you said it won't work." So it's like, but that was like also a very early time where I was like, yeah, this clearly shows me what's going on in the person.